In a quiet corner of an ancient forest, a small seed lay buried beneath the soil. It was no different from the millions of others scattered by the wind, yet within it was the potential to become something grand, a towering tree, strong and wise, reaching toward the sky. At first, nothing seemed to change. Days turned into weeks, and still, the seed remained hidden in darkness. But below the surface, something was happening. It absorbed water, softened, and prepared for the first tiny sprout to push through the soil. Life is no different. Every great journey begins unseen, in the smallest of choices. The habits we nurture, the steps we take each day, no matter how small, determine the kind of life we grow into. And so, like the tiny seed, we must begin. One of the simplest yet most powerful habits a person can develop is waking up early. The quiet of the morning is like the first rays of sunlight breaking through the forest canopy, peaceful, full of possibility. Ethan, a young man tired of his repetitive life, decided to make a change. He had read that successful people valued their mornings, so he set his alarm 15 minutes earlier than usual. At first, it was difficult. His bed was warm, and the world outside felt cold and uninviting. But each morning, he resisted the urge to hit snooze. As the days passed, something changed. He had time to stretch, breathe deeply, and think. He planned his day with a clear mind. No longer did he rush through his mornings. He eased into them, setting a positive tone for the rest of the day. Like a tree breaking through the earth for the first time, Ethan was starting to grow. A tree does not grow tall in a day. It strengthens its roots little by little, reaching deeper into the ground before reaching higher into the sky. Ethan realized that big dreams weren't built overnight. They were the result of small, consistent actions, daily habits that, at first, seemed almost insignificant. But over time, they created something powerful. Reading 10 pages a day, just as a tree absorbs nutrients, the mind absorbs knowledge. Some days, he read entire chapters. Other days, just a few paragraphs. But books became his teachers, and his world expanded. Moving his body, strength comes from movement. He started with simple stretches, then short walks, then full workouts. His energy increased, his body grew stronger, and his confidence soared. Practicing gratitude, every night, he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for. At first, they seemed small: a good cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend. But the more he practiced, the more he noticed how beautiful life truly was. No 0 days, even on his worst days, Ethan did something: 1 page, 1 push-up, 1 small win. He no longer aimed for perfection. He aimed for progress. Like a tree growing stronger with each passing season, Ethan was becoming something more. Every tree faces storms, strong winds, heavy rains, harsh winters. Yet the trees that survive are the ones with deep roots. There were days when Ethan felt unmotivated. Work was stressful, his body was tired, and old habits tried to creep back in. Some mornings, he wanted to stay in bed, to let the day pass without effort. But instead of giving up, he learned the value of rest. He took breaks without guilt, understanding that recovery was part of growth. He meditated for a few minutes each day, calming his thoughts. He spent time in nature, letting the quiet of the trees remind him to breathe. Storms would come, but they would pass. And with every challenge, Ethan's roots grew deeper. A year passed. Ethan barely recognized himself. He was still the same person, but better. He stood taller, both physically and mentally. His mornings were filled with peace, his mind with knowledge, and his heart with gratitude. The small habits he had planted had grown into a strong, unshakable way of life. People began to notice. "What's your secret?" they asked. "How did you change?" Ethan simply smiled. There was no secret, only small, consistent steps, like the steady growth of a tree. And just as a tree provides shade to those around it, his transformation inspired others. His friends began waking up earlier, reading, and exercising. His family started practicing gratitude. Without realizing it, his small changes had created ripples, touching the lives of those around him. One day, while sitting under an old oak tree, Ethan reflected on how far he had come. But he knew this was only the beginning. Growth never truly stops. There were more books to read, more lessons to learn, and more seeds to plant. So he made a promise to himself to never stop growing, to never stop learning, and to always nurture the small habits that made life meaningful. Because the tallest trees once started as the smallest seeds. And so can we. Life is like a tree. It doesn't grow tall overnight. Every great transformation begins with something small, just like a tiny seed buried beneath the soil. At first, nothing seems to change. Days pass, and the effort feels invisible. But beneath the surface, something is happening. With patience, consistency, and care, growth begins. The habits we build shape the life we live. Waking up early, moving our body, practicing gratitude, these are the roots that keep us strong. But like every tree, we will face storms. Some days will be hard. Progress will feel slow. But growth isn't about perfection, it's about showing up, even in the smallest way. And the most beautiful part? When you grow, you inspire others. Just as a mighty tree provides shade and shelter, your choices, your resilience, will touch the lives of those around you. So plant your seed today. One small habit, one small step can change everything. Because the tallest trees once started as the smallest seeds.